All right, so there's a loud plane. That's how we're starting. Planes fly, people go places, and hopefully, from listening to this, you will gain an Emunah insight that will take you someplace. The Holy Mohorosh in the book, highly recommended, Positive Living from Learning to Earning and Yearning for God. Check it out on Amazon or send us a message. We'll help you get the link. Now, he says a very important piece of advice for us. He says, I will read it to you because it's just too good. But the bottom line is that we have to start over every day as if the past is not relevant. In other words, that the mistakes that we did yesterday are no longer count, and that the success we had yesterday is no longer, and our attempts yesterday are no longer relevant. We're starting from scratch and starting from nothing every single day, in the positive and in the negative sense. Let's see how this is both such a phenomenal idea. Sometimes a person must start over and over again, many times in one day, until all of his beginnings combine to help him make a final successful start at serving God. This is what the sages have said: a good thought is never lost. Therefore, if a person constantly starts anew, he will eventually serve God the way that he should. That's got its own amazing insight, which is sometimes we start over many times in one day. This is all about dealing with today. And we have to start over with our joy, with our freshness, with our clear-mindedness over and over again. And they actually add up to, by the seventh time in a day, I'll actually get it right. So, okay, fine. So it's not just that at the seventh time I got it right. It's at the first six added up to the seventh that Tzaddik will fall 6 times, and in the 7th time he will stand. If it wasn't for the first 6, he wouldn't be standing in the 7th, because it wasn't just that after the 7th he figured out how to do it. It's that the first 6 add up to 7, like stairs. The first 6 attempts were stairs, even though they look like they're going back to the beginning. Now, the next part. The most important advice is to totally detach oneself from all the sins he has committed up until this very second, disowning them completely, returning to God. Do not let any failures or unsuccessful beginnings count against you. Instead, pretend that you never before began to serve God and that you are now beginning for the first time ever. Disowning them completely. Do you understand what he's saying? Take this in for a minute. We should disown all of the, you know what I mean? We disown a dog. A person disowns a child. It's like before, this sin that a person has is they feel is very much theirs. These mistakes, these sense of failure, setbacks, deficiencies, and now we disown them. That's one aspect of being in the present today and being able to move forwards. And not letting them count. And also pretending that I never began to serve God and I'm beginning for the first time ever, so I don't need to feel bad that I've been a failure 20 times. No, I've never been a failure. The failures never happened, never began, never was, never will be, because this is the first time. Because I've disowned them all. Those don't belong to me anymore. They don't belong to me anymore. So that's a wonderful tool. You could say, this don't belong to me anymore. Don't belong anymore. Hopefully you have a notebook. Write down whatever insights you have. Send us your tools, your ideas. Yeah. Part 2. In fact, a person will usually stumble and fall further and further from serving God if he allows himself to feel that he already started to serve God in the past. Scottsdale Airport, here we come. All right. This is a big mistake. For instance, if someone starts to serve God, but later on falls from his level, then he gets back up, but later falls again and again, he will eventually get frustrated with serving God and lose motivation to pick himself up when he falls. Therefore, the best advice is to forget everything which happened in the past. Even a person already started anew thousands upon thousands of times, he still start again whenever he fails, since now is the only time that counts. There's more. But this second part, as if I feel that I've already made a lot of attempts and they haven't gone well, or I'm just worn out, like there's a freshness of the first time, The first time you're starting a project, there's always this new enjoyment, right? So if I'm starting anew, as if I've never done this before, on the positive side, it means I'm going to have at least some piece of that new energy. So take a minute to do two things. One, you can take all the mistakes that could come in your mind, heavinesses, difficulties, and decide they don't belong to me anymore. Maybe even consider taking a piece of paper, write them on down the piece of paper, each one, and put them in a pile that's like, it's like the giveaway, you're giving them to the Goodwill. You know, if someone else wants these, you can get some cash off them, they could sell them, I don't know what they want to do with them, recycle them, great. Also, the other half would be to realize this is the first time, and and this is the first time, it's fresh. This is not, I've lifted weights before. No, this is the very first time starting the project, and get excited about that. All right, have a good day.